So, inquiring minds want to know, why would I leave the church and seminary to become a Hindu? All right, so I got this comment today while I was at work stating that it's humorous or it's ironic that I would leave seminary to embrace the Hindu religion. I think it's ironic, or it's funny, flat out humorous, that you would even leave that comment, Kevin, because you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know if it's true. You don't know my reasons for leaving seminary. So I figured I'd do a video on it. Why would this guy leave the church? You know, just a conversation I had while I was at seminary, which was basically, Prince, you've got the right look. You can speak, you know how to dress. All you got to do is get through this process. Don't piss anybody off. Shake all the right hands, impress the right people. And when you're done, I will make sure that you get a good church placement. You will be placed on all the right committees within the PCUSA, and you will be known on a national, if not a worldwide level within the Presbyterian Church USA. Basically, at some point, if you keep your nose clean and do exactly what we tell you to do, you'll be the face of all black Presbyterians. That's what I was told. So why would I walk away from all of that? I was fucking set for life. Like, why would I walk away from all of that to become a Hindu? Good question. Very good question. And I don't even know where to begin. So, you know, we could call it my indoctrination, or the seeds for me becoming disillusioned began when I was 5 years old and I was going to Catholic school. So I was Catholic on Monday through Friday, and on Sundays I'm Presbyterian. We'll just say that somehow scripture and the Bible and this whole church thing always came naturally to me. Moving around, bouncing back and forth between my mom and my grandma, Jersey, Tennessee, Atlanta, the country in Georgia, wherever I went, there was always a church or Sunday school or children's church, and I always stood out because that was the one place where a shy, timid, short kid could be the loudest and the most powerful one. And so we'll say that it was only natural that I would eventually pursue ministry. We could say that maybe that's where my gift or my talent is. And the problem is chinks began to form in the armor. I guess that's the best way I can phrase it. Because you see, during this time, I'd also gotten my bachelor's degree in religion. And I had this one particular teacher named Dr. Sid Brown. She taught Asian religions at the University of the South. And at that time, I could not stand Dr. Brown, Dr. Sid Brown. I tried hard in her class, but this Hindu stuff was kind of weird. I'd read Siddhartha in high school. I read it again for Dr. Carden's class, and I was like, I'm good with Siddhartha. I'm good with Buddhism. But Dr. Brown, her dissertation, which is now a book that she was finishing my senior year in undergrad, was chronicling her experience as a nun, a Buddhist nun in Thailand. And she actually lived it. She walked the walk. She talked the talk. And I could not bullshit my way through her class. I'm cracking up because I'm looking back. I'm going to post this to Facebook, and I don't know if Dr. Brown will watch it, but she'll probably laugh because Dr. Brown changed my life. And her making me go to a Ganesh temple across town out in Bellevue, her giving me a C on my exam, her saying that she didn't think that I was going to pass my comp to graduate from Swanee pushed me. And when I joined the Navy and I'm on these Westpaks and I'm visiting these Buddhist temples in Korea and in Hong Kong, all I can think about is, man, when I get back, I want to show this stuff to Dr. Brown, because now I've seen it and now I'm starting to live it. And I remember coming home from the Navy and having this conversation on email with Dr. Brown, and I said, I want to become this warrior, scholar, priest person. How can I do it? Should I go and get a PhD in Taoism? Should I go and get in an Asian religions course somewhere? Like, I want to teach this stuff and I want to live it. And she said, don't waste your time on school. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, I want to be like you, and I want to be like these people I read in these books, and I want to live it and breathe it and get paid to do it. And she told me to check out a professor here at Belmont University, right? And this is going to be a long video. Like, it'll probably be as long as my Kundalini video. So if you hate listening to me talk, well, fuck you, get off my channel. And if you love listening to me talk, awesome. So anyway, I write to him. I can't remember his name anymore, but he writes back and he says, dude, Prince, if you want to study Taoism, you want to become a warrior, scholar, monk, he was like, don't go to school. He says, you need to move to Colorado, because there's a lot of Taoists that are leaving China and coming to America, and they want to be in the mountains, and they're in Colorado. Denver can be nice, so pack up your shit. You just got out of the military and came home, hang out with the family, and then move to Denver. So I'm like really discouraged, because I'm like, well, but I got to go to school, and I want to teach, and I want to live it, and I want to this is what I want to get paid to do. And, I want to live this life and nothing but it. But I know I've got to make money some kind of way, because I got to survive. I go back to Dr. Brown and I'm like, well, but I really want to teach. I really want to teach, and I love to talk about religion. So Dr. Brown says, well, my best advice is for you to do like a comparative religion study type thing. And you're more likely to get a college, hired at a university if you can teach Christianity. So at this point, I start talking and reaching out, and I've got church members, because at this time I'm still in the church, at Vandy Divinity School. So I reach out to Ted and his wife. We're discussing things, and then it becomes, you didn't have the best grades at Swanee, even though it's a highly respected school that's known for giving low grades. The question came up, should I go, if Vandy is a divinity school, and Vandy Divinity, Harvard Divinity, these schools, like, they're academic institutions, right? So you can go there and become an ordained minister or whatever, but the focus is on scholarship. The pressure on the instructors is they need to be academics. They're writing papers. And so if you want to go somewhere and you're looking at that PhD later, or you want to write papers and be published, you want to go to these kind of schools. So I say, well, what about like Louisville Seminary? And I shouldn't have said the name of my school, but what about seminaries? And the focus of a seminary, and that's not to say that they're not academics and scholars either, because every one of my instructors at seminary or professors is published and has books, not books. So anyway, the question came up about becoming ordained and going through the ordination process. And it's something that at that time I said, I'm not really sure if I want to do, but it might help me get into school. And at this point, I'm so worried about my bad grades and getting scholarship and money, even though I've got my GI Bill. It's like, I just got to get my foot in the door. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do, but I know I've got to get my foot in the door somewhere. I want to talk about spirituality, not just Christianity, because this is 2008, fall 2008. I've already had the Kundalini awakening experience. I'm starting to look into this I didn't know it was a Kundalini anything. At that time, I was like, Kundalini yoga is bad because that's what I'd been told by other people. But I knew I had this experience, and I'm doing this Tai Chi thing, and I know a lot about I know a lot about a little bit of Neigong. I thought I knew a lot. I knew about these Neigong masters, these Taoist masters, these Kung Fu teachers that have abilities that I could not even begin to understand. Some of them are fake and some of them don't know. So I have all of this processing, right? And I'm like, I want to talk about this stuff. And then I start to get into Daskalos. And now here's these Gnostics, these Christian mystics that are practicing to this day. And they're contacting me, and I'm like, I've got all this cool stuff. How can I get my platform so that I can develop a following and share this and start teaching and have the money to go and further my own education outside of what I'm going to get in school, right? And the problems are already beginning. My mom watches all my videos, and I don't want to throw her under a bus, but she was not happy with my decision to go to divinity school or seminary, because at that time I was leaning towards Vanderbilt and Vandy Divinity. And the reason I didn't go to Vandy, the real reason, I didn't feel like if I stayed here at home that I was going to be able to put in the time that I needed to succeed in school. And looking back, that's right, because when I got in school and I locked on, it was Tai Chi, meditation, class, study. That was it. No dating, no girls, no hanging out. It reached a point where I became a recluse or a bit of an outcast from my other classmates. I had a few people that I would talk to, Carrie, Adam, my next door neighbor, Blair. There were a few people, Sheila. I would talk to Sherry, who was the writing. She helped with the writing. Sorry, Sherry, I know you're going to watch this, and I can't remember what you do, but you were one of the few people. I mean, there were other people I talked to. Beth was always supportive of me and always had questions. But I'm sorry, guys. For the most part, I felt like an outcast, and I was. And some of it was my own doing, because I started to have these little epiphanies. That's what I call them, where I would experience energy or have a breakthrough, and it was like the more I felt my own energy, the more I started getting deeper into my Kung Fu practice. And notice I never say Kundalini, because all of this stuff that I was doing, it was part of my Tai Chi practice. It was my internal martial arts. So there was never any Kundalini yoga. I'd never been to a yoga class in my life until somebody made me go to hot yoga 2 or 3 years ago, and I hated it, and I've never gone back. So, you know, you're probably waiting for the part where I become a Hindu. It hasn't happened, Kevin. I'm not a Hindu, dog. You need to stop trying to classify stuff, especially when you don't know what you're talking about. So how did I leave seminary? Well, I was having these epiphanies, and I started to struggle with some things. I read something writing a term paper, and it just made me like question everything. Why was I here in seminary? What am I literally just went numb. Like, that's what happened. I just completely fucking checked out. And it was all I wanted to do was just freaking do Tai Chi and meditate. And at that point in time, I was practicing Kung Fu 6 hours a day. That was either meditation, standing meditation, Qigong, the actual Tai Chi form, or kettlebells, which I consider conditioning. So 6 hours a day was devoted to my practice. And my Ili Chin teacher says that that's not realistic. It's not sustainable. I burned myself out. Sorry, Sifu, but that's not true. My only job, because I was living on my GI Bill, was to go to class. I had money for food. I didn't have to worry about my rent or anything else. It was go to class, read a book, write a paper, read the Bible, write a paper, and that was it. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Make sure to check out more videos from this channel, especially the one that YouTube has recommended for you. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you. Always.